How many of you have to clear snow, deal with snow on grass parking lots or rock crushed stoned driveways? It's pretty difficult to deal with. If you have that kind of situation, you'll want to check out this new product that we had to show today. Now on our website, we have a post that explains a lot of different snow removal options that are specific to the 1 Series, or in some case slightly general purpose for some other tractors as well. And you'll see everything from the low price solution that we're going to show you today to solutions that might be several thousands, maybe $4,000 or $5,000 depending on the situation. My finance committee's behind the camera and she just about fell off her chair.
Yep.
Well, and that's kind of how I lead off the article. A lot of you have invested a lot and really sacrificed in order to get a tractor like Johnny. It may be a John Deere, it may be a Kubota, it may be another brand, but it doesn't really matter what brand it is. It costs a lot of money. Once you've invested all that money, it's kind of hard to go back to the finance committee sometimes and ask for more. Now, of course, some of you have got deep pockets and maybe finance committees like mine that are pretty flexible, and if you do, go ahead and give them a hug, because that's a blessing to have. But some of you just can't hardly afford to do any more than what you've already spent. So you may have already spent a winter or so trying to use the bucket on your 1025R or your Kubota BX or maybe even larger tractor to clear the snow off of your driveway, off of parking lots, things like that. It just doesn't work very well. Well, we have a solution from R2 Manufacturing. That's the letter R, the number 2, manufacturing. The purpose of that name, by the way, is two brothers that are working together, Robin and Ryan, to make this product. And this product is called the Edge Tamer. Okay? It's a really simple product. And do you know why it's red, Christy? First of all, I have no idea why it's red. Maybe we should ask R2 about that. I'm bloviating. But I think they're red to illustrate that you don't have to pay the extra cost of the green paint.
Oh, gotcha.
This snow removal solution, Miss Finance Committee behind the camera, is less than $100
Oh, wow.
for the complete solution.
Not bad.
Not bad at all. And when you use coupon code TTWT at checkout, you can take another 5% off of the price. So it's going to get down to where you can even take your bride out for dinner and get these for $100. You think if I admit that I don't know what to do with the washer that makes me look dumb?
Yeah.
Do you think there's anything I can do to keep from looking dumb?
Read the instructions.
Yeah, I don't know. That wasn't a good answer. Look at this, there are instructions. Okay, so this is what it looks like when it comes from the package. There's a bolt and a flat washer, 5/16 flat washer, so the flat washer is not big enough to go around the entire bolt, and the Edge Tamer itself. And you should order 2 of these for a small bucket, and if you have a wide bucket, I don't know how you define wide, but wider than what is on the BX series or the 1 Series, you might need 3. You might need 1 for the middle. And it might depend on your driveway, how much of a hump you have, a crown in the road or whatever that you have as well. Okay, so the washer might not be necessary. In fact, it likely won't be necessary. It's only to be used between the bolt and the bucket if you have trouble with the Edge Tamer twisting as you try to tighten it up. I'm going to put a little fluid film, or you could use any other lubricant that you want, on that bolt. See if I can get it started here. It's a fine threaded bolt. Okay. Then we'll just slide it in here, just like this. Now, that bolt has to be tightened all the way down. For that, we'll get a ratchet. Now, if you look from the underside, on the Deere bucket, there is a little bit of a lip right here. And so we'll make sure that we're just inside that lip. I think you could probably be all the way to the outside and still not hit it, but just as a precaution, I'm going to go in about 1/4 to make sure that this goes inside that weld there on that lip. And I'll do the same thing on this side. It probably would be okay to use an air ratchet on this to get it, part way, but when it gets close, we don't want to over tighten this thing at all. There's really no need to tighten it tight. Part of the reason I don't use an air wrench is so that I can talk to you while it's going on. I don't have to worry about the air compressor coming on and all that.
I only see one problem today.
It is a beautiful day outside,
Yeah,
isn't
we
it?
don't have any snow.
It's like 78. It's in August. It's 78. Not a cloud in the sky, and here I am talking about snow. Is that some sort of jinx or something? I mean, am I going to be in trouble?
Yeah,
But
a lot
guys,
of snow 2 or 3 weeks from now.
you need to know that we do have to prepare for snow season soon. I hate to say it. Might as well get started now. Now, I've watched my dad for most of his life use equipment that was meant for moving dirt, moving soil, to actually clear his driveway. Early on, he always used the 1950T Oliver with the big front blade on it. And I've got a video with it. We'll put a link to the description. I've got a video that shows that front blade on the 1950. Not really working, but it shows a good view of it. It's a neat old tractor that they've had, you know, since it was new in 1969. And then in later years, he's used a Case 580 backhoe with a front end loader on it. And not only does he clear his crushed stone driveways, he also clears a church parking lot that's all grass. Okay? And then what we notice is in the spring, he'll have a pile of dirt, or around his house, he'll have a pile of crushed stone off in the area that's supposed to be grass. So he has to spend a half a day in the spring, either with a hand shovel or, you know, or somebody else has to try to get that rock back on the driveway. I believe we're going to be able to solve that with these Edge Tamers. What you see for bigger tractors is that the Edge Tamers will be wider. So right now they have a 3-inch and a 4-inch, and recently announced they have a 6-inch Edge Tamer. It's going to be much wider, and it'll work much better for a heavier bucket, because obviously you'll need more platform to keep the bucket from digging in. Christy, we don't have any snow today, but I actually think we can demonstrate these Edge Tamers and show how well they can work when there is snow.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is we're going to keep the loader bucket in essentially the flat position. So that means the level indicator right there at the flat position. And then we're going to leave the loader in the float position. If you haven't seen how to use the float position, come around here and I'll show you. If you start to push forward on this lever, you're actually trying to force the bucket down. So that'll pick your front wheels up off the ground. But if you push a little further, it will actually lock in. And that means to allow the bucket to float. So the bucket will go to ground level, but it won't put any down pressure on. That's typically the way you want to remove snow, whether you're using a loader or even if you're using a blade, because you don't want to put down pressure on. It allows you to steer, and it doesn't force the blade or bucket into the ground.
So we buzzed around Bob's yard for a good while. We were able to pick up leaves and then it looks like some rust off of his grass, but no sod.
If you get a lot of snow each year and you can afford a snow blower or a snow blade, you probably should get one. But if you're in an area maybe in the south or for other reasons you don't have much need for snow removal equipment, this is a tremendous solution. I mean, it's amazing. It's just picking up those leaves right off the ground. You can come all the way across the yard here, all the way into neighbor Bob's yard with no problem at all.
Yeah, but not my snow. Over here on the, you know.
This where you're going to put your snow pile?
Yeah.
Doesn't look a lot like snow to me. You know,
Wanted to come outside in the middle of August.
maybe we need to work on our special effects.
Yeah, I think so. I could have ordered snow online.
Could we have got some of that just falls right in front of the camera?
Yeah. We need a lot of it though to cover Bob's backyard.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I'll put a link in the description to r2manufacturing.com. Use coupon code TTWT at checkout you get a 5% discount on the Edge Tamers and also some of their accessories. You know, there could be another use for this. I think we could, if we had a pile of mulch or something and somebody just had mulch delivered and dumped on the ground, I think this would be a great way to pick up a pile of mulch. Because I think you wouldn't hurt the grass, but yet these guys would run right into mulch. Maybe we'll get a chance to demonstrate that sometime. Folks, you won't find a more cost-effective solution that'll keep your bucket out of the grass or out of the rocks for snow removal. Thanks for watching today, and we'll see you next time on Tractor Time with Tim. Okay, Vanna, come on in. I called you Vanna.
I'm afraid I don't look like Vanna.
You look better to me.